Hello, I'm Mark Griffin from Sedona Mystical Tours, and I'm taking this time to discuss some of the characteristics of Sedona that sometimes get overlooked by people that visit and sometimes they're noticed. Um, in a way, this is part of the magic and myth that Sedona and areas such as Sedona bring to people's experiences as they visit or live here. One of the strong points that I like to emphasize when I show people around Sedona on the land is the the ability of nature to reflect symbolically messages to us as we are on a seeking path or on a quest when we visit sacred lands such as this. And uh, one of the obvious characteristics, once it's pointed out to people, are the rock formations. Now, take in consideration that for centuries, for eons probably, indigenous cultures have always referred to formations in the rocks as either talking rocks or rock people. And those loose phrases are simply their way of expressing how imagery and symbology would come to them through the rock formations. And it isn't necessarily the structure of the rock that provides this. I feel, and they, I'm sure, felt the same way. It has more to do with levels of consciousness attainment. And if we want to apply laws of physics and consider that there's many, many dimensional levels of existence on our planet, and we are composed of many multiple dimensional bodies, one can understand then, if you accept that as it's being presented by physicists, I should say, and understand theoretically how it's possible for our awareness to reach higher states. Then when you're coming here with questions, seeking answers, as you wander through the land, you could look at these rock formations around us, and you could begin to see things coming at you in a sense like an ink blot test, where a rock all of a sudden begins to take on the appearance of an animal, a particular individual, like an elder, a deity, or there's geometric patterns, or things from the future even can be brought into this present moment. Sometimes people see these, if you want to call them etheric cities, crystalline cities. They could go as far back as ancient civilizations of Lemuria or Atlantis, having its influence brought down to these power spots, or it could come from something that is existing in the future of our civilization, or as well it could come from etheric realms that are already here, exist here, and that these higher states of consciousness that we reach are accessing their existence, and therefore it's all being reflected back through what we see in the rocks. An example of the different approaches people have when they study and examine these particular formations is one individual can see nothing but rock, have no depth of perception with it, have no expanded morphogenic influence. That type of part of our brain, the frontal lobes, that can expand outside of our limited scope, may not be accessible for certain people. Others see a tremendous amount in these particular rocks, and then others, once a particular symbol or animal is shown to them, they see it immediately, and from then that point forward, always see it as such. Like the rock formation off in the distance has a particular nickname of the parent-child or teacher-student rock. As you get closer to it and study the imagery in it, you could see the distinction of individual faces, not necessarily human, but definitely of a sentient type of quality. And you could begin to perceive how that would be a place that you can receive incoming teachings through maybe your higher parts, your higher self, higher parts of yourself, or through your spirit guides, or through the elders, influence that have dwelt in this area for eons of time. All those influences are accessible, and all those influences are here in a place like Sedona to provide insight, to provide guidance, to help you understand there are ways that you can get answers through going and accessing the highest parts of yourself. Sedona's energy provides a nice conduit, a nice fluid flow for that process to occur within the individual, even if they have no spiritual training, even if they're of a more dogmatic, conventional mind. They can still see and feel these influences coming into them because they're genuine and open. And it has nothing to do with belief systems. It has to do more with those qualities and having an accepting personality and nature as well.